Hello and welcome to livealittlehigher.com. As children, we discover that when we cry, we elicit nurture and attention. A child wants a lollipop and he cries his heart out, and the mother finally gives him the lollipop because she can't see her kid crying. So we realize that that some of our actions are met with approval, and sometimes other actions are censored. We do something, we hit our little brother, the parent's gonna get very upset, he's gonna give you time out. So from a very early age, we start understanding what's right and what's wrong. And at a certain point, we come to realize that there is more to life than crying and fulfilling our whims and desires. And we have to learn how to master this set of behaviors. We have to redefine ourselves and not become people of habits, and refine who we are. So that which we do, and we become more knowledgeable about ourselves, about how our psyche works, how our predispositions are, how our personalities affect us, what character traits we need to redefine, we need to correct, and what is good in us so we can bring it out in a better way. So here we know that we will grow as human beings. We want to grow and be better, but that is not enough. Then comes a point in a human being's life where he wants also to transform the world. And this is 3 stages of a human being, in which he comes to that point in which he wants to leave a footprint in the world. So the 6th day of Sivan, which is the giving of the Torah, Shavuot, which was given to us in the year 2448 of the Jewish calendar, actually 3,330 years ago, or the year 1313 before the Common Era, Hashem revealed the blueprint of creation to the Jewish nation and our responsibility as a holy people, and a light into the nations, that we have to be a light into the nations. We have to be a people that bring light into the world, and we're the big brothers of the world. People look up to us, and so if we don't behave in the correct way, then it's not good. So the Torah functions on many levels, many different levels. On its most basic level, it is a guide to life. So yes, Torah means a guide, a guide. We have 613 mitzvot, which are do's and don'ts of life. This is we can do, this we cannot do, this is sacred, this is not sacred. And this is a level in which we keep the Torah. It's a very low level. Then the Torah is much more than a regulator of behavior, and it comes to refine the person and to weed the bad out of ourselves and cultivate the good. So it's also a guide to develop our better selves, to develop our minds and our emotions, and it makes us a revelation of the divine image, because when a Jew behaves in the proper way, in the Torah way, he is revealing Hashem in this world. And finally, the Torah, this is the most elevated part of the Torah, is the vehicle that allows us to make the physical world a home for Hashem. So the ultimate purpose is that we should make this place a comfortable place for God, that He should feel at home. So there's 3 names that are given to Shavuot, given to this festival. In our prayers, we call it Seman Matan Torateinu, the time of the giving of our Torah. And we see that it doesn't say the time of receiving the Torah, it's talking about the giving of the Torah. And I once heard something beautiful. It said that Hashem didn't call it the receiving of the Torah because He can give it to us, but it's up to us if we want to receive it or not. So in the second name that is given to this holiday is Hag Shavuot, and it's given to us in the Torah. It's part of the Torah. I think it's Deuteronomy, and it is called the Festival of Weeks. So we know by now that we've been counting the Omer for 7 weeks since the second night of Pesach. We've been counting every day the Omer, and this is a guide to help us refine ourselves, to purify ourselves, to make us holy people, to be able to receive the Torah. When the Jewish people left Egypt, they were in the 49th level of impurity. One more level, they would have been wiped out, and Hashem had to take them for this time so they could refine themselves to be able to receive the Torah. And then the other name that is given to this holiday is Yom HaBikurim, which is also in the Torah, and is a day of the first fruits. And the first fruits which ripened in the orchards of the Israeli farmers were taken. They would put a red thread to the first fruits, and then when they were ready to take out of the tree, they would bring them out and put them in a basket and take it to the Holy Temple in Jerusalem and offer there to the Kohanim. And this is called Bikurim, that we give the first of ourselves to Hashem. That's why when you give tzedakah, you give 10% of your earnings. You take out first the 10% of what you earned and you give to God. And this is what it is. When you have a first son, a firstborn son, and it's a natural birth, after a month you do a pidyon aven. Yeah, you're giving back to Hashem the first of what He's giving you. So we see here that the holiday of Shavuot has these three different names, and each one of these names represents one of these levels of looking at the Torah. So Seman Matan Torateinu, the giving of the Torah on Shavuot, there were 600,000 root souls gathered at Mount Sinai receiving the Torah. And the word Israel, very interestingly, is an acronym of Yesh Shivishim Ribo Otiot La Torah, which means these are 600,000 letters in the Torah. So each root soul represents a letter in the Torah, and that's why it says we are all contained in the Torah. On Shavuot, we were instructed on the path along which we should walk and the deeds we should do. So this is, in a basic level, it's Hashem is giving us a guide to life. He's telling us that we're written in this guide to life, that we're part of this guide to life, that we count, that we're important to Him, that we're part of His people. And it's also the culmination of the 7-week journey of self-discovery and self-refinement with the counting of the Omer. And this is when it's called the Hag Shavuot, which is the Festival of Weeks, because it's the counting of the Omer. And what was the counting of the Omer? The Omer is a measurement of barley that was offered at the temple, and it was offered for these 7 weeks. And on the 7th week, it culminated with raising up of the Sheti Halehem, which was the offering of the 2 loaves of bread. And on the festival of Shavuot, this is what happened. Like instead of giving barley, they would offer the 2 loaves of bread. And Hasidic thought explains that the progress from animal fodder, which is barley was the food that was given to the animals, to the food of human beings, which is bread, which is prepared with finely ground wheat flour, signifies the refinement of our animal soul, because really the counting of the Omer is refining our emotional character traits, which is our base, materialistic, instinctive part of ourselves. We're correcting our emotional part, and this is connected to the animal soul. Actually, the divine soul has no emotional nothing. It doesn't get offended, it doesn't get upset, it doesn't get jealous, it doesn't have any of these emotions. It's the animal part of us that needs to be redirected and put into place. So the elevation, this brings an elevation to a human level of a soul, and it's forged in the image of the divine, which Hashem created us to His divine image. And finally, the festival's third name, Yom HaBikurim, which is the day of the first fruits, speaks of the endeavor to go beyond the perfection of self-development and elevate the material world. So first, yes, we need to know what's right, we need to know what's wrong, we need to know what's expected of us. This is the first thing you teach your children. You have to teach them right from wrong. If not, how can they be mensches? How can they be righteous human beings? And then this person, while he's growing, he's maturing, he needs to have his character traits in control. He can't let the animal get over him. And then eventually, life is not about self-improvement. This is what it's telling us. You're not a self-improvement job. You're not Home Depot. You're more than that. And that's when we come to name the festival as the Yom HaBikurim, which is the giving of the first fruits, because at the end of the day, this is what it's all about. It's about us giving to God. It's about us taking the best of ourselves and giving it for Him, doing it for Him. And by selecting from the first and finest of His orchard to take us Bikurim, to the Holy Temple in Jerusalem, the holiday of Shavuot, the Israelite farmer is proclaiming, my days are consumed with working, the land, my nights with thoughts of seed, soil, and weather. But the purpose of it all is not development of the material, for material ends, but to make this world a home for God. So the material world is beautiful, it's good, we need to use it, it's there for us. But at the end of the day, we have to remember who is the owner of all this. So I wish you a beautiful Shavuot, Hag Sameach. I hope you receive the Torah with joy, with love, with enthusiasm. And remember, live a little higher. Thank you.